right, we are live. 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 Peace, power, and prosperity. Rob Blackstone here. I am here with my illustrious guests, the wonderful, the beautiful, the phenomenal, the divine, the inquisitive, the prophetic, and acclaimed reader, Divine Feminine Works. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you for stopping by. So, as you know, and as we discussed, you put me on earlier today. I thought the full moon was in Pisces, but I realized I was actually looking at something else. Today, the moon is in Pisces, but the sun is in Aries. As I've been talking about all this week, this is the Holy Week, right? Even in what they call Christian Dome or Christianity, they just got through having Palm Sunday last Sunday. So this week, it's also Ramadan month, right? So people are fasting. So this month of Aries, the astrological new year, there's a lot of people that are indulging in getting in tune with their inner self, getting in tune with their divine being, getting in tune with that holy part or that holistic, right? Holy is another word for holistic. So becoming holistic. I talked about this in another video, Mel, where this time period, the earth itself, Mother Gaia, is actually hot and moist, right? We just came from the season, the winter season, where it was cold and moist, right? So we have varying degrees of energy. There's heat rising, but we also have that water that we're still retaining from the winter, because as it gets colder, you actually retain more water. So there's a lot going on physically. I had some crazy allergies last week, actually, strongest I ever had. So be careful, you guys. As I say, put on your frequencies, your binaural beats, your isochronic tones, right? Because I personally believe that those towers that start with a 5 and end with the letter G are pumping some things out that are very, very, very nefarious. But if you are in tune, if you have been doing the work, your meditation work, your physical work, as far as getting physically fit, getting out in this divine I-10, getting these rays of Ra on your body, you should be getting your downloads right now. So what I want to talk to you about, Mel, is you being the astrological expert. I want to talk to you about this full moon in Pisces, what we should be looking for, some of the things we should be doing, and just give us some insight. I was looking at the Astrological Forecast. I'll go into that a little bit more as we move on. But this is a very, very interesting time. We got a couple of eclipses coming up. The next new moon, the next full moon. If you noticed last month, the new moon was in Aries. It's Aries season. Next month, the new moon is going to be in Taurus. It's Taurus season, right? So the astrology is really, as you were saying in the video we did before, about us coming into the mastery of ourselves, us coming into knowing, understanding, and more importantly, becoming potent in developing our own self-magic. One of the brothers that I heard here on YouTube, he was saying spirituality is on Wi-Fi right now, right? So thoughts are really becoming things, right? I got my citrine on right now, my red jasper, things that I've been wearing outside. It's a great time to wear your crystals. But enough about me, Mel. Let's talk about you. Let the people know you got the beautiful pink behind you for Venus Day here Friday. Let the people know what's going on, what they should expect, what they should look for with this full moon coming up tomorrow. I believe it's at 11:38 a.m. Eastern.
Yes, it is. So this full moon is actually really interesting. And what I love about astrology is that it never lies. And it always connects to everything that we're doing. So obviously we're in the midst of Holy Week. Sunday is Resurrection Sunday. And one of the themes of this full moon is life after death. It's transformation and it's personal transformation.
Mm.
And I think it ties really well into the story of Jesus, but I'll get into that in a second. But so full moons really illuminate to us where we're living in extremes, because you have the sun on one end and the moon on the other. So it's like your thoughts and your consciousness is focused on one thing, but your emotions and your subconscious are focused on something else. And it's like, it's a tug of war. And full moons illuminate. Obviously, you know, when you look at the sky and you see the full moon, it's completely lit up, it's super bright. And so it sheds light on things that were in the dark. So a lot of times, full moons tend to be extremely emotional because they shed light on emotions that we haven't been paying attention to. So this particular full moon is in the sign of Libra, okay? And Libra is all about relationships. But what's important to understand, especially in the context of this being Holy Week and Resurrection Sunday and the theme of life after death, is that relationships are merely a mirror to ourselves. It's not that everyone is acting, I'm not even going to say, well, this is a topic for another day, but it's not like everyone is acting of their own volition, right? Everyone is merely a reflection of what you are inside. So relationships are really just the universe's way of showing us who we really are through the people around us. So everyone tends to really focus on, especially when we're talking about Libra, everyone seems to focus on romantic relationships, right? Because when you hear relationship, that's what people think about. But obviously, we all have more than one type of important relationship in our life, be it with our family, with our friends. For some, it's even our coworkers, employees. We have so many different relationship categories. But the one thing that's common to all of those is that they are just a reflection of us. And so if you are not right inside, if you're all jacked up, if your emotional well-being isn't the best, that's going to be reflected to you in the people around you. And so what tends to happen is people who are not so self-aware or who aren't exactly awakened yet, they point the finger at everyone else and say, hey, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. You're the problem, not me. But anyone who's evolved and self-aware will know that whatever you're feeling, whatever emotional trauma you're carrying that you've never healed, that's going to show up in the people that come into your life and the people that you relate to. And so this full moon is going to show us where we may be lacking in terms of our relationships and in terms of our own emotional well-being. Now, one of the things that's really important about this full moon in astrological terms, I already mentioned the sun and the moon are opposite each other. That's basically basics when it comes to the full moon. But both the sun and the moon are going to be square to Pluto. And this is why I mentioned before that it's life after death, because Pluto is the planet of transformation. It's the planet of birth and death and regeneration. And so it's absolutely perfect that we're talking about resurrection, with Jesus at a time when we are being called to sort of, put away those, let those bad habits within us, let those emotional wounds die, right? So that we can be reborn anew and be like a new person that's emotionally healthy and stable and all of that. And the full moon is actually giving us the opportunity to do that with the square to Pluto. So it's all about personal transformation. It's about sort of letting the parts of you that no longer serve you die so that you can be reborn. Hold on a second. My light just went crazy.
No, it's all right. No worries.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the gist of it. It's a very profound full moon, but I feel like it might get lost on a lot of people because, again, I don't even want to say like pop astrologers or, people who just do astrology memes on Instagram. They're all about, oh, this is about relationships. This is about getting your man back or, some of those superficial things. And while there is time and a place for that, that's definitely not what this full moon is about.
Not at all.
If you think that you're getting your ex back or whatever, this ain't the full moon for you. No. You might want to put this one out.
Right.
So
Yeah. This energy. There's been a lot of downloads for me personally. I posted this on Facebook. Just want to read it because it goes into what you're saying, and then we can get a little bit more into that Christ consciousness or that Christ energy. But I posted, I said, in reality, people attract who they are. If you didn't see you in them, you wouldn't have been with them. Relationships are mirror reflections of you. And the truth is, most people, male and female, are manipulative, selfish, possessive, narcissistic, dishonest, and fearful of loss. Therefore, they attract people like them and get the treatment that they give others and then come and cry victim after. However, scientifically speaking, you are a magnetic being. Spiritual power is gained from overcoming difficulties. Change the person in the mirror, learn the lessons of the past, and you will attract better relationships. F your gender wars, the war is within, right? So this particular Libra season, the theology that I come from, where I deal with Kemet or Egypt, we would say this is a Ma'at season, where we are balancing the scales, and you're balancing the feather, which would be the truth. The truth is universal law. You could find universal law in this book, The Kabbalion, which you call the rules of thought or the rules of Tahuti, when you're dealing with the laws of gender, the laws of cause and effect, the law of vibration, so forth and so on, right? Law of vibration, all those things, right? Mentalism. And really, this season is about you becoming the best version of you. You seeing what it is in you that is manipulative, that is narcissistic. Are you sleeping with people to try to trap them? You know what I'm saying? Male or female. Are you with a person simply because they have resources and you don't really like them, but you're scared to step out on your own and start your own thing? Are you in a relationship that you're not happy in, but you're just there because of the stability? You're doing it for the kids, yet you're arguing every day and the kids see you arguing every day and it's toxic, right? What type of person are you really? Are you just out there the city girl, right? Are you out there being a homosexual as a male, right? What type of person are you really? What type of attitudes? Are you scared, right? Are you just in a relationship because you're scared of losing someone or scared of not taking the leap that it may take? And one of the things you have to understand about this particular season is about sacrifices. There's certain things that you have to change in order to achieve self-mastery. You cannot solve a problem with the same consciousness that created it. That consciousness has to be reborn. And part of this Christ-like energy that I see, especially in this particular month, Aries season of the Ram, with Jesus being the Lamb, it's really about resurrecting into the consciousness of transformation. We don't know what Jesus did from the ages of 13 to 30, right? We don't really know if he was in a relationship, if he was having orgies, if he was sniffing cocaine, if he was on that good hashish they had back then, right? We don't know what trials and tribulations Jesus went through back then. And as graphic as these things sound, these are the things that he could have gone through. And if you read other texts, like the Aquarian Gospel, for example, right, some of the apocryphal things, they talk about Jesus being engaged in different things and going into Kemet, going into Egypt and learning and going through different challenges in order for him to raise his vibration. A lot of times people don't want to go through difficulties. Is what I found Divine Feminine works. People don't want to go through challenges. People don't even want to challenge themselves to think critically. They had just to dig into pop culture a little bit. They had a situation where, you know, the ASAP Rocky Rihanna thing, right? Big on social media. ASAP Rocky is cheating on Rihanna, right? ASAP Rocky, boom, went haywire on the internet. Literally one article, right? And the one article spread to all these other articles. It's a rumor. There was no picture. There was no confirmation from either artist, right? No confirmation from someone close. All it was sources said, and people ate that up and spread it. The people that ate that up and spread it are the same people that want unconditional love and want to be in a good relationship with other people. But the energy of Ma'at is reciprocity, right? What is your heart? What are you willing into existence? And does that will, the heart, coincide with the truth of who you are? The truth of who you are is you like mess. You like messiness. You know what I'm saying? That's the truth. The truth is who you are is you like to see other people that are failing in relationships. The truth of what you are is you like to embrace your trauma, right? Male and female, the people that were sharing it, the people that were engaging in the debates, the back and forth, because there was no substantial evidence. Today they came out, and I thought this was a great day, being that the full moon, being that it's a Venus day, right? Being that we're going into this time period. It was a great example of how people are reflecting, are really mirror images of what they want in relationships. And it's not just romantic relationships, as you said, but it's also just the relationship with you have people at work. How are you treating the people that you work with? Are you stepping on them to get ahead? What type of job you had? I know I had a job back in the day, Divine Feminine Works. I was talking to older ladies. We were selling healthcare products and skincare products. Very, very deceiving, very, very manipulative. They put them on a 30-day trial, sold them an $80 jar of cream, right? 9 times out of 10, it didn't work. So people didn't read the fine print. They would call in, look, you're taking my Medicare money. You're taking my food money. I'm on a fixed income. I was a manager. I had to tell these ladies, right? And at the time, I was proud to do it, right? Because I was making money. But guess what? The universe, what you sow, you will reap. I made a lot of money, but I lost a lot after that. A lot of great things happened because in me, right? When we're dealing with that heart on the scale, the feather is an indicator of the truth and the spirit. So your will combined with that truth that you have is going to balance the scales. And if that heart is weighed down more, where your materialism is worth more than your godliness or worth more than your truth. See, it's the relationship we have with all things, right? Everything in the universe depends on everything. That's why it's called the universe. It is the one verse. So when we're dealing with coming into Christ consciousness, we have to remember that even the people that we think that are our enemies, whether we had issues with our mother, our father, our sister, our cousin, our baby daddy, baby mama, boyfriend, girlfriend, ex-husband, ex-wife, homeless, shot, whatever. All these situations were designed to get you to the point where you could A, learn the lesson, and B, get closer to your divine nature, because difficulties are meant to be overcome. And when you overcome your difficulties, you gain spiritual power. When you gain spiritual power, you get the ability to tap more into your psychic abilities. In fact, most of us that are walking on this path, it is due to difficulties that we've had and trying to solve the problem, right? So Christ consciousness, to me, from my perspective, and the passion of the Christ is really the passion of wanting to be a God here on earth. I always say, don't look to the Most High, right? Don't look at these gods and these deities, right? And the Orisha and the Ifa and the saints and all these people as your salvation. Don't go from the church and then you are using your altar like it's a collection plate, right? If I give my ancestors some coffee, or if I put $1 on my ancestor altar, or if I put their favorite cigar, I'm gonna get something. No, do it because you just want to honor their essence. You want to honor the blood that is within you, right? Now, after you do that, and then you want to do some work for your money or for your love or for a change in the behavior or whatever. Now you're doing this out of love. You're not doing it as a way to gain something. You're not trying to manipulate the universe. And people really are out here in the spiritual game trying to manipulate the universe. But we see it happen with all these brother this and the prophet this and this doctor this, and we seeing them fall left and right. And these guys are their verbal acumen, their ability to articulate is superior, right? Their handle of knowledge and their memory, the ability to memorize dates, times, things, and events, is superior, right? But the passion of the Christ within, is not in them. No. Their character is not that. And we have to get to a point to where we are really living this as a lifestyle, not just as reading a bunch of books, not as is trying to be the smartest person on the block, not trying to impress your friends, not trying to save everybody, but to the point to where we are really living in really balancing this Libra scale, right? Really trying to make sure we are living in truth, and that we are coming to a point where we're not just talking, we're not just sounding good, we're not just wearing white robes to the points of impressing people, but we're living this as a lifestyle for us to be the better person. Saving the community is saving yourself. Saving Black people is saving yourself and your family first, right? Then you're saving everybody, because once you are right, and once you're aligned, and once you understand universal law, and people see the reflection of God within you, then guess what? It's like what they say in Malcolm X. You got the dirty glass of water and the clear cup of water, right? People are always going to notice the clear cup of water. You don't got to say a thing. They're going to come to you. Mm-hmm. So I just want to go on about that. Talk to us a little bit about how you see that passion of the Christ within, and how that ties into this particular season, Divine Feminine Works.
So, like I said before, this full moon is all about transformation, especially, like I said, with the square to Pluto. It's all about death and rebirth. And of course, being that it is Resurrection Sunday tomorrow, on Sunday, that's the theme of everything. And it's interesting to me because the way I look at it is that religion teaches you to venerate the messenger, right? It's you, and it's not to say that I am of the belief that Jesus is an ascended master, right? But I also am of the belief that we are also like Jesus. I feel like in religion, they teach you that Jesus did it so you don't have to. And I think it breeds this sort of ideology of, well, someone else, everything is outside of me. If I'm looking for a savior, it's outside of me. I have to pray to the savior. I have to, make nice with the savior. Even if you don't believe in Jesus, even if you believe in other deities, if you're part of other religions, everything is outside of you. But I feel like the real lesson of Jesus, and of this weekend in particular, is Jesus didn't come here to say, I'm doing this for you. Jesus is like, if I can do it, you can too. I'm showing you can do it too. So just like Jesus died and rose again, we do that all the time.
Yes. Every day. Every day. Yeah, every day. Every day you go into the underworld, then you come back again, right?
Exactly. But we also all have a cross to bear in this life. Some of us have many crosses to bear in this life. A lot of us overcome a lot of the obstacles that are thrown our way. And we die to those of us who do the work. We die to our egos constantly. We are ascending in the same manner that Jesus did. It may not be, physically dying and raising from the dead, right? As the Bible states, but we do it in a very symbolic way all the time. Yes. And I feel like that message is lost on a lot of people because everyone is conditioned to look for everything outside of you. Just like I was mentioning before with the relationships, if you're in a shitty relationship, you're like, well, it's your fault. You're not doing this. You're not meeting my needs. I need you to do this. What are you doing for yourself? And how are you?
Everybody's a victim. Everybody's a victim nowadays. Modern man. High value man, modern woman, like everybody's a victim. There's everybody with these labels. Everybody wants to say the other person is the problem. But I was talking to somebody about this earlier. And it's like, we've been conditioned through the church to believe that we are victims. It starts with that you're a sinner, right? And then it starts with that you are a shepherd, right? You're a shepherd. You're a sheep in the flock of the Lord, right? And that Jesus, you're supposed to be a sheep. So then people exhibit sheep-like behavior. And then we wonder why the masses are, as they say, as my man Black Dot says, the masses are asses. Because we've been taught, that we're negative, that we ain't shit. Look at even some of the songs in the church. This is, I don't care what you believe or what you think. I'm just decoding, not you personally, obviously, but I'm just for the crowd. Yeah, but, even some of the songs, I was listening to some of the songs somebody was playing before I got on with you. I was trying to use the StreamYard, and I was listening to something on YouTube, and they were playing Mass, and they were singing the song, and it was like, God saved a wretch like me. Like, that's the foundation that you're coming off of, that you are a wretch.
Yeah. And it's this narrative of being lost, of being not worthy. I mean, I grew up Catholic, and before we went to communion, you had to basically state your unworthiness before receiving the body of Christ. And I was just like, well, I'm worthy? Like, I'm worthy. I'm worthy for this little wafer. Number one.
Yeah. I grew up in the Kingdom Hall, so Jehovah's Witness. So right now they're doing Passover right now. So right as we're talking, they're doing their Passover, and it might be ending because I believe it's like an hour, but they're doing their Passover. And I remember what they do is the same thing. They pass the body of Christ and the blood of Jesus, and in their theology, there's only 144K that's going to make it 144,000. So there's people that there's always melanated people that buck the trend. It's always somebody, a brother or sister, that takes, because nobody wants to take the cup because you're not worthy enough to be the 144,000. But there's always a brother or sister that takes that cup and drinks it and eats it. And I remember as a kid always seeing that, and I'm like, yo, why I can't? What I'm saying? Why can't I eat this? Why I can't be part of Christ?
Yeah.
Why do I feel, especially, and I'm reading these, Jehovah's Witness is really intense, and it's really like Bible. Tuesday you're going to Kingdom Hall, Thursday you're going to Bible study, then you're back again on Sunday, right? Hated every minute of it because I had an understanding as a kid that this just didn't make sense, especially the whole devil thing. God created the devil, and then the devil is causing all this havoc. But then God created him, so why don't God just do a Thanos snap? If he's omnipotent and all this, why does So it just didn't make sense to me. It never made sense to me. So yeah, I think and for those who don't believe Jesus walked here physically, there's the mythology of it. There's the people that believe he was really a man, and then you have the 33 vertebrae of your spinal column, right, which deals with where your energy, your kundalini power, that naga force is rising whenever you are doing things, that serpentine energy, right, for your vibe, so to speak. And then you have 12 cranial nerves in your brain that all connect, and where you get your pineal gland, which would be representative of the sun or that Christ consciousness, just to give everyone a holistic perspective. So this is the Holy Week, right? So whatever you believe, the kingdom of God is within. Psalms 83:6. Do you not know that ye are God? The passion of the Christ, right? Which people are going to be going, which is really what today, Good Friday, is about. It's really when Jesus was getting put. I believe it's when Jesus was put on the cross. If I'm not mistaken, this is the day of Calvary, right? What they call it, and he was placed on the cross. So as you said, we all have crosses to bear. We all have difficulties and challenges that we are going through. But how are we going to resurrect into our Christ consciousness? What are the things that we are doing and to allow us to become the best versions of ourselves, the most high within ourselves, to make the phoenix within rise? And these different techniques, from crystals, from prayer to meditation, to even just going out in nature and taking a nature walk, soaking in this good ass, as Ralph Smart says, breathing in that good ass prana, baby, right? and all those things, now is really the time, Like, yes, if you have altars for my occult community, definitely you want to put a candle on your altar, but don't just put the candle on your altar and write you a little petition and put the petition under it, and that's all you do, and then you just go about your day-to-day life. This is not about being a pious, not having fun, because I like my little ratchetry. If I hear two people outside fight, if I hear two people fighting outside right now, I'm gonna leave the live. I'm like, oh shit, let me watch it. I'll be like, hold on, y'all. These motherfuckers are scrapping. These niggas are scrapping out here, right? I'm gonna watch that shit with all intents and purposes, right? This is not about, and we gotta, because that's where the church kind of has us feeling guilty about doing all sorts of things, right? You can't, sex is bad, you know what I'm saying? Any type of violence is bad, right? Turning the other cheek, and accepting violence, slavery is acceptable in the Bible. All these different things and all these different ideas that's pumped in our head, and we live in this Christian society, right? Even some of the things in Islam that are related to this, all these different rules and regulations that have nothing to do with universal law. Sex is a natural urge. You know what I'm saying? Wanted to see people in competition, the competitive spirit, it's a natural urge. It's on the tree of life. You know, if you are into the Kabbalah, it's on the tree of life. It is, what is it? Gabora, right? Gabora, or Herakahuti in the Kemetic tradition. But it's all about balance at the end of the day. Everything in life, the one verse, everything works with each other. If the sun shines on the wicked, and this is a Bible verse, the sun shines on the wicked and the righteous. It rains on the wicked and the righteous. When we're talking about God or we're talking about the divine, right, we have to essentially be in that middle point of the atom where there's a proton and electron. The goal is to be the neutron at the end of the day, where we're not looking at or labeling people or labeling things as bad or good, but labeling things as low vibration or high vibration. This may not be for me because it's not raising my frequency, right? But maybe a little bit of time, I'm in that low vibration. Maybe there's a time that I need to be in that low vibration, right? Especially if I got to strategize something. There's times when you got to lie, right? The Bible is against lying and you always got to tell the truth. We all know in life, there's times you got to lie. You know what I'm saying? I might not like that dress you got on, depending on if we had an argument. That dress looks great, baby. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but go ahead, Divine Fam. Where'd you go ahead? I know I'm going off. Go ahead. What you got to say?
But what you just said is the exact point of this time right now, particularly with this full moon. It's balance. And it's about, we can't live in extremes, at least not forever, because at some point, something is going to break, right? Mm-hmm. So we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And it doesn't mean that you scrap your humanity for your spirituality, nor does it mean that you forget your spirituality and just live in this like 3D reality, right? It's a balance of both. And it's interesting because I love the fact that everyone is really turning on to spirituality right now. Like you said, I guess, I don't know who you said it, but you said it before that it's like Wi-Fi. And I feel like everyone is starting to tune in, but people are you can tell people are just starting to wake up because they'll learn something like about manifestation, right? And manifestation is all about just tapping into your God self. That's really all it is, right? But you have people doing it in a very humanistic sort of way. Just like the same thing with, honoring your ancestors. You're putting coffee so you can get some money, or you're putting a cigar so you can get a new job, or you're manifesting this so that your ex can come back. But right. That's not the entire point of it. The point of it is to live in your God self. That's how you experience heaven on earth. You live in your God self. You move from your God self. It is a lifestyle. It's not a quick fix. It's not a magic trick. It's not a cheat code or a life hack in order to have, a cool looking life or nice aesthetic. Like, it's life, And I like the fact that people are waking up to it, but I feel like a lot of people have a lot farther to go because, again, it's not just about doing something for the moment. It's about making a lifestyle change. But again, it's all about balance. Like, it's okay. Like, and especially I feel like, because I know I was like this when I first got into spirituality, it was all about high vibes, right? You have to be high vibing all the time. But sometimes I'm like, fuck this shit. Like,
fuck that high vibe shit. Yeah.
Like, no, this is really hard.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're still human at the end of the day.
Yeah, there's
we
times
all like ratchet shit sometimes.
There's times I want to talk shit. Yeah, there's times I want to talk some shit. There's times I'm with my boys. I just want to talk some shit. I want to call them pieces of shit. This is, there's times and this is just my masculine energy, right? When men are around each other, well, at least the men I'm around, I don't know. We curse each other out, and it's all in good fun. You know what I'm saying? We're going to say F you, I'll say F you. And then, we'll share a beer and pour each other a drink. That's just that masculine energy. And like you said, there's 3 stages of man, so to speak, of human, right? You have the animal, the savage. These are the people that are doing, the R word things and just the random killings and, serial killers and the, sociopaths, psychopaths, right? Those people are just strictly are operating off instinct, just like a lion, a tiger, or a bear, or a roach even, right? They're strictly just whatever they feel, they're going at it, right? And a lot of these people have frontal lobe damage. If you watch the movie Joker, they really broke down a lot of how people's get their brain damaged in childhood, and then they just respond off of instinct, right? So a lot of serial killers, they notice that they have, and there's a documentary on HBO about this, I forgot the name. But anyway, there's a documentary on HBO where they have this lady that was trying to talk about this in like the 60s, and she's just getting recognized. And they actually use some of her science and put it in the Joker movie, right? So there's people that are operating on that frequency. And some people, due to their childhood, that's the only way. And it's going to take a lot of reconditioning. Even though they can come out of it, it's going to take them a lot of reconditioning to come out of it. There's some people, I believe, that are born that way. That's just their karma from a past life. So they come in to cause havoc. You can't have a hero without a villain, right? There's no heroes without a villain. So then the second stage of man is you have man, right? This is the guy that's the thinker, the Joe Biden, the Donald Trump, the Putins, right? The Harvard scientist, the Pope that, said that it's okay to have slaves, that it's okay to sign the doctrine of discovery. And if you could discover a place and these people are not Christian, you could run them through, you could kill them, you could enslave them, right? This is people that had logic, supposedly, right? These are people that were well educated. These were people that were reading books. This is why you can't just live your life on logic and reasoning, right? If you live your life just on logic and reason, someone will be able to logically and reasonably tell you, right, that a pig with a lipstick and a wig on is a woman. And I'll just leave it at that. Y'all know what I'm saying, right? They'll tell you that a pig could put on lipstick, put on a wig and a dress, and that's a woman, right? And they'll reasonably and logically have verbs, terms, and arguments to present to you to actually convince you that because they feel that way, that that's what it is. It's similar to me walking into the bank and saying, I am a millionaire. I feel like it, so give me $1 million, right? It doesn't make sense. But that's the realm of man, and that's the realm that most people are operating on, because we get this knowledge from these universities, from these schools, right, from these books, and people are trying to become geniuses with wordplay. And then you have the divine man, what in Kemet they call the Osirian man, right? And the Osirian man is the person that is following universal law. They are not just engaged in logic, nor are they a slave to their emotions like the animal. They are in the balance. I call them the inside the atom. They are the neutron. They are the neutron star. Even when a star is exploding, they call it a net. When a star is first giving birth, they call it a nebula, right? So we come from tonal languages. Those are of us that are melanated. So nebula, right? Neutral, neutron, right? What we're dealing with, neutron. We're dealing with that type of middle point, being the eye in the storm, so to speak, being able to see the yin and yang and being the dot, so to speak. So yes, there's different levels of light. Don't go into this type of lifestyle thinking you have to be the most pious person on earth. Don't go into this lifestyle when the barbecues come up on July 4th. You want to tell everybody because you read a couple of books and people don't read books right nowadays. So you watch a couple of YouTube for real. Like a lot of these people have no scholarship whatsoever. They don't know their history. They don't even know the history of what they're doing. They just watched a couple of YouTube videos, heard a couple of suave speakers, boom. And then they're going to wreck the barbecue on July 4th. They're going to tell everybody how negative Christmas is, right? Live your life. You know what I'm saying? Live your life. If July 4th is this, that is so negative, then people will get it. You know what I'm saying? Don't go messing up the barbecue. Don't go telling grandma who been praying for you and grandpa and mom and dad who've been praying for you all your life with just what they know, right? The church, the Christian church, is one of the reasons that your black ass is here in America. A lot of spirituality came from the Pentecostal church, from the clapping and the shouting, right? Which is where Elvis got his whole thing. A lot of your spirituality, even the occultism, came from the heavy metal, hard rock community. So you can't demonize all white people either, because you wouldn't have your Baphomet, all y'all that love the Baphomet. You wouldn't have that, right? You wouldn't have all these dark and demonic things that y'all like to indulge in either, right? That are occult. So therefore, everything in the universe is working to your purpose. There were more entrepreneurs, Black entrepreneurs, than in the history of time when Trump was in office. Why? Because they saw the op, they knew who the op was, and they knew that they had to fight against the op. But most people were scared of that because they'd rather see the knife, and they rather not see the knife coming to them in their face, and they'd rather have the knife in their back with a smile on their face by the person that's knifing them in the back. So we want to come to the point to where we're able to face our fears, right? Where we're able to look things in the eye that we really need to get over, right? There's changes that I've been making this holy month. I won't get into details, but there's things that, you know, if you're really tapping into, that you need to get rid of, that you need to stop, whether it be diet, whether it be diet, whether it be fitness. Like I was telling you earlier, I see you done, did some fitness things, lost some weight, right? We all are trying to make changes to become better when we are on the spiritual path. You cannot do what thou wilt. I know that's what Aleister Crowley told y'all. Doesn't work that way. The sun doesn't do what thou wilt. The moon doesn't do what thou wilt. Everything has its own place, time, and cycle. The stars don't do what thou wilt, right? Everything has its own times and cycle.
Agreed.
Anything else you want to tell the people about what's going on the upcoming month, the week ahead? Give us your astrological forecast, Divine Feminine. We'll get up out of here.
The other major happening is the solar eclipse on the last day of April. It's the new moon in Taurus is actually a solar eclipse. And any sort of eclipse is the universe's way of cleaning house. So a lot of the time, if you're doing the work, if you're actively engaged in self-reflection and things like that, eclipses don't necessarily affect you that much. But if you don't do the work, that's the universe's way of doing the work for you. And so a lot of times people experience a lot of erratic energy during eclipse, a lot of major happenings. Because again, if you're not doing the work, then the universe is just going to do it for you. So we have the first eclipse of the year coming up on the 30th, which is going to be in Taurus. And that sort of sets off eclipse season, because we're going to have a series of eclipses between Taurus and Scorpio throughout the rest of the year. So solar eclipses are when the sun and the moon are conjunct, meaning it's a new moon. And that's the time when the universe adds things to your life that are required or that are destined in order to get you to where you need to be. So a lot of times people will have all of these opportunities, but again, if you're not self-aware, then it's very hard for you to take advantage of what the universe is putting in your path, because you're focused on, some bullshit or stuff.
Right.
So that's really the major thing we have coming up this month. And we also have Pluto going retrograde. So the day before, Pluto was going to go retrograde. So I just talked about Pluto a little bit before in terms of the full moon and how Pluto was all about transformation, right? When any planet is retrograde, the energy is expressed inward as opposed to outward. So even if this full moon doesn't really find you doing any sort of transformational work, Pluto retrograde, which is going to be between April 29th and October. So you have 6 months of doing inner work. This is sort of the butterfly in the cocoon, or I should say the caterpillar in the cocoon phase. So the next 6 months are all about your emotional well-being, addressing emotional wounds and trauma, letting go of bad habits and things that no longer serve you. Because then by the time Pluto goes direct in October, that is when the butterfly emerges. That's when the phoenix rises from the ashes. That is how you can see true transformation throughout this year. So we have that coming up on the 29th. So a lot of opportunities in the next couple of months to really work on yourself, if you choose to.
Yeah. Just want to pull this up. Can you see this, Divine Feminine?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is basically the astrological forecast what the moon has been looking at. You could go on this website, AstroSeek, You could get your free chart download. You get your free chart. You could actually download it. You can see the transits. It's one of the things I look at on a regular basis. I still use, those of you who've been following me in the past know I'm big on Astro Matrix, but I begin to Astro Seek a lot because I want to learn more about just transits and stuff like that, how different houses affect me at different times and where the planets are. And for me, this seems to be a little bit more accurate than Astro Matrix. So I've been using this a lot more. But as you see, we are going into, we have the Aries New Moon for the season of Aries, right? And so we're going into, like you said, the new moon is going to be in Taurus. We are going to be in Taurus season when this happens. Taurus season is coming up soon. So, I mean, solar eclipse on the same day, right? So the energy of the bull, we know a bull is all about moving forward and crashing, but we're also dealing with that energy of love, the energy of finances as well, right? That bull is sitting right there on Fall Street. So again, if you're trying to launch your business, right? You guys see, I've been putting little commercials in some of my videos. Guess what's going to be coming on the 30th, right? But I'll show better than I could tell. So every time I talk about it, don't happen. But, but yeah, definitely the solar eclipse is going to be happening, right? The lunar eclipse, and it also tells you what type of, things that is going to be affecting the neck, the vocal cords, right? We have the full moon today, tomorrow. On the 16th, right? The kidney, I've been telling you guys, the kidney, urinary, the bladder. So get your water in, right? Get flushed, drinking some tea, some ginger tea, put some lemon in your water in the morning. I'm telling you things that are inexpensive, right? We know the inflation is going crazy right now. We know gas prices are going hammer right now, right? We know that they're talking about bringing back masks and things like that. You want to protect your health because when these seasons shift, there's always going to be shifts in your body and shifts in your physiology. So you want to prepare your body for the seasons. You want to take a look at these things and see what herbs correspond. Only you know your body, but none of this is nothing. Even if you become a billionaire, you hit the billionaire lotto tomorrow, let's say, and your health is bad, it doesn't matter. I worked in a hospital myself. I've seen people that were very, very wealthy die alone. I've seen people that were very, very wealthy have a ton of family and still couldn't do anything, had the best doctors in the hospital and still couldn't make it, right? So you want to maintain your health. And not only that, the more vitality you have, the stronger you are magically. The stronger your electromagnetic field is, the stronger your aura is. The stronger your aura is, guess what? The more you become, quote unquote, lucky. The more you're able to pull things in, right? So we're coming up on this. So today we have this, right? So flush your body, clear your system, right? Get some of the things out. This month, right? Look at what's happening, right? How the universe works. It's the month of Ramadan. Muslims, and that's the wisdom of the East, right? This is the holy week here in the West, but the wisdom of the East, they're doing the month of Ramadan. Very, very spiritual time. It's in the air, folks. It's in the air. But now, right? It's talking about your bladder. Your bladder deals with flushing out toxins, right? Your kidney basically is a blood purifier, also flushes out toxins, right? Your veins, this is where your blood is flowing, right? Dealing with the skin, so you could have that beautiful glow like the fine feminine works, right? Also, your urethra, right? Again, flushing, clearing, eliminating waste, right? What are you eating? Are you eating a shit ton of McDonald's hamburgers, knowing that it's GMO filled, knowing, and again, I'm not judging you, you know what I'm saying? I'm not here to judge. I eat some bullshit sometimes as well, right? But you gotta, if you really are serious about this work and serious about this life, you're gonna have to make decisions that affect your body, not just read a whole bunch of books, not just watch a whole bunch of YouTube lectures, not just listen to what me and Divine Works are saying, but doing things that are gonna put your body in optimal position so you could be lucky, right? Luck is, if you look at luck, right? The symbol is a 4-leaf clover. There's the mental, the spiritual, the physical, and the financial. That's the symbolism. We all want to get a whole bunch of money so we don't have to worry about all these damn bills and we can take care of the people that we love. We all want to have a nice looking body so we can take nice pictures on Instagram and impress people when we go to the club, when we go out to the store, right? I'm talking shit. Right? We all want to, right? The physical, right? We all want to have spiritual abilities. We want to be able to read minds. We want to be able to look at the tarot and read things properly. We want to help our loved ones. We want to be able to foresee what's going on, and we want to get spiritual guidance, right? So the spiritual, and of course the mental. You got to study in this life, right? Divine Feminine Works wouldn't know these things about astrology if she wasn't studying, right? If she wasn't in these books. So there's part of it, yes, you have to study. Yes, you have to get in these books, not just in these YouTubes. Book learning, scientifically speaking, book learning, you retain more from reading. You retain more from writing things down than you'll ever do from getting from watching a video. Look this up yourself. I don't have to prove. You guys know I show and prove everything. You see all the tabs right here. I show and prove everything when I go through these things with you guys. Start reading, start studying, start learning about who you are. Get to know thyself. Get to know the dark side of yourself, right? Get to know the daemon that rules you, right? The Leviathan, the Lucifer, if you're going that part, right? Know the dark side and the light side. I know both sides, right? The dark side and the light side of me, because I want to understand it all, so that I could maximize it all, and not more importantly, so I could teach my children and those around me, right? But more importantly is for me to maximize me, because when it's all said and done, it's going to be me in that coffin. It's going to be me that goes into the duat. It's going to be me that goes into the land of Amen, right? What you call the Akashic records, right? And it's going to be you by yourself. I don't care if you got a twin. It's going to be you by yourself. So the same way people in business forecast what's going to go on, right? If you've been ever managed a large company, or if you've ever been a supervisor or something like that, or a CEO, or even running your own business, you got to forecast, okay? What does this quarter look like? What does next quarter look like? What does, the third quarter look like, right? What is Christmas quarter going to look like? This is your forecast for you. This is your forecast for your spirit, right? The dates are all here. You could literally look at what you're going to work on for the whole year, what type of tea you're going to take, what type of herbs you're going to take, right? What type of mindset you're going to be working on, what type of personality. These planets are not planets to be worshipped. These planets are not planets to be prayed to. These planets are indicators of IQ, There's different points of IQ. The energy of Libra that we are under is way different than the energy of Taurus. The energy of Taurus is a hell of a lot different than the energy of Scorpio. All right. They're all different IQ spiritual points, different personas, personalities that are achieved through sound, light, observation, technique, and more importantly, that spiritual wizard. All right. And that's all I have for you people today on this Good Friday. Yeah. I'm going to get some drinks. What the Divine Feminine, what you got for the people in closing?
So like I've been saying before, it's all about personal transformation. If you haven't started doing it, now is definitely the time to do it. You're going to have plenty of opportunity over the next couple of months, but this is sort of the jumping off point, right? If you are anywhere in between religion and spirituality, especially if you're someone that follows Christianity and, Jesus, the same thing that Jesus went through is the same thing that you can go through as well. And so use the energy of this full moon to kickstart that and get your spiritual life, because once you do, life becomes so different.
It becomes easier too.
Yeah, it's not even to say that you become like pretentious or you're just above things, because we're not, because again, it's a mixture of humanity and spirituality, but you don't get wrapped up in the same things that you got wrapped up in before. Things aren't so difficult. And even when you encounter difficulties, you are so well equipped to deal with them that life becomes a lot more easy and more enjoyable. And isn't that why we're here? I mean, honestly, I think that we're here to enjoy ourselves and enjoy the beauty of life, enjoy the beauty of relationships. But you can't do that if you are holding on to a lot of emotional trash, if you're not treating your body well, if you're not treating your mind, your spirit, and your soul well. And so now is the time to do that.
Get out of Western culture, reject Western culture, the Western way of looking at relationships, the Western way of looking at spirituality, the Western way of looking at diet even, right? The Western way of looking at building, right? These 9-to-5s and these jobs that we work, right? We're all supposed to have a home that the community. I was studying the Geechee, right? Real quick, and then I'm going to sign us off. I was studying the Geechee, right? And they each would, when they were first starting the Gullah Geechee, right? And coming out of slavery, the whole community of men would get together and they would build a house for each other. Like they would each cut the wood, cut the lumber, have things set up, and they would build a house and they would plant their food and they would barter. There was no need for money. There was no need, okay, you have a skill set, because we're all born with different astrological signs, right? So those astrological signs are really our ancestral, are coming, resurrecting as an ancestor and what we're supposed to maximize at the most high form. We don't realize that, but our sun sign is really our ancestor resurrected within us and what we're supposed to master, right? For instance, I'm a Scorpio. So fearlessness is one of my biggest challenges, but one that I am fucking ramming this motherfucking month, right? Because that's what I'm supposed to master. And this is the Holy Week. So what better motherfucking time than Aries season to be as fearless? So there's challenges that I'm taking in my day-to-day life that you guys don't see online, but the more that I'm approaching these challenges and crushing them, and even if my heart is pitter-pattering, I'm taking the steps toward, I am seeing myself gain in spirituality. I'm seeing myself gain in spiritual powers. My psychic abilities are getting stronger as well, right? So there's certain things, I touched on this, you guys who follow this, you get this book.
One of my favorite books.
Look, everybody, God, synchronicity, right? There's no such thing as coincidence, only confirmation. Everybody's in church right now. What do you think they're going to be doing on Easter Sunday? Tap into that energy, hack into that energy. The same way y'all always talking about all these rituals, and this person died and it's a ritual, and this celebrity got killed, it's a ritual, and they're harnessing energy, and this day did this, is a ritual, and they're harnessing energy. Why don't you harness some of the energy that's happening this week, tonight, Good Friday, when everybody's in church, by reading one of these Psalms over some string music, over some violins, over some guitar, over some harp? Why don't you get into these Psalms and recite them and sing them passionately, just like they do in church? Get this book. It's like $5-6 on Amazon. Very, very inexpensive, right? Very, very inexpensive. And it's pretty much it. I've never been, I've been in a couple states, and I've never been to a botanica that doesn't have this book.
Facts.
For real. I've never been to a botanica that doesn't have this book. So if there's a botanica in your state, you could easily go get this book tomorrow, right? Get you one of these Psalms that resonate with what you're trying to work on. I don't know. Read it. In this book, there's Psalms for the morning. There's Psalms for the evening, right? There's Psalms from health to love to protection, success, everything. Revenge, prosperity, right? Power. And on Sunday, especially, I'll be rocking with y'all this week. But on Sunday, especially, Sunday morning, tap into these songs, man. Tap into that energy that everybody's singing in the choir, that everybody's speaking about passion, everybody's going to be crying for. Tap into that energy and use it to power your own dreams, your own goals, your own personality, your own changes, and your own personal power and magic and the passion of the Christ within. Ashe and amen.
Yes.
Anything else, Divine? Divine Femme, tell them where they could find you. If you got anything else to say, let them drop it. Let them know where they could find you.
Instagram, YouTube, Divine Feminine Works. I do weekly astrology forecast on Instagram. I do live tower readings every Thursday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. So follow me on Instagram, subscribe on YouTube. We got plenty of content for y'all.
Yes. Oh, last but not least, to you ladies, I want to say this. All right. I want to say this. If you got a man, right, and he wants to tell you your problems, he wants to tell you his problems, right? Don't take those problems when you're angry and throw them back at him. Listen to those problems, but be angry about what you're angry about or whatever the issue is. Don't take what he told you in secret and throw it back at him. Because what is happening is men are becoming more and more and less sensitive, less and less receptive, and less open because these things are happening. Remember, we are in the Mott scale right now. If this is a problem that you have when you're angry, this is something that I would like to suggest that you work on correcting. We need you. We need you, divine feminines, out there. We need you, and we need to be able to talk to you so you could give us the grand wisdom, that grand nurturing that is inside of all of you. We men need you. We want to lead, we want to be warriors, but we need people that we could trust. And I'm blessed to say that I have people in my corner that I can do that, but I know a lot of men that don't, right? And I do readings. I know I had somebody talk to me about this recently, right? Very, very, very hurt about it, right? So I just want to put this out there, all right? And, hopefully whoever's supposed to hear this, I hope you hear it, and I hope you take it to heart, for real, all right? With that said, we out. Peace.